And we're going. So, yeah, Huntsman's Copse. This area can be pretty tricky, I say. It's recognizable to fans who did the network test. It's being pretty much the same area, with a few modifications. There are quite a few nasty tricks to make it tough. We're gonna give it our best. Let's see if we can get through in one try. For example, these guys up here love to deal tons and tons of damage. Let's see if we can get them on the duel. Not what I meant to do. I've never done dual wielding before, so I'm way too used to just tapping the Y button as opposed to holding it down. Might as well get some free moss while I'm here. There's another one. There are quite a few items in the area, but there are a lot of traps as well. Either enemies that'll mess you up, or, well, mainly just enemies. Was almost pretty effective there. More upgrade on the mace and would have been fine. This first one here, I guess, is to lull you into a false sense of security when dealing with the other huts. Often not. Well, I know there is at least one that is a trap. If you're rushing up too far ahead here, it's very easy to get rushed by a bunch of these guys. Magic. Let's grab this one here. Should probably actually put some blossoms onto the bar. So why not? It's also important to note that this place offers a distinct split in terms of paths to go to. There's two bosses in the area. You can deal with the Undead Chariot if you want to get to the Brotherhood of Blood. Otherwise, it's the Skeleton Hordes, which is one of sort of the highlights of what people have criticized as being sort of lazy game design. There are a lot of bosses in this game that are just multiple enemies, as opposed to just singular fights. You got the Ruined Sentinels are 3, you'll fight 2 Dragon Riders eventually, and the Skeleton Lords. And some people, say that's sort of like a crutch. They designed one good enemy and they sort of multiplied it, maybe underpowered them a little bit. Hell, I mean, you can find Ruined Sentinels later in the game just as regular enemies. I get that critique, kind of. It was somewhat special in Dark Souls 2 when you got to take on the Ornstein and Smaug. They were 2 separate characters. In there is more story progress for Pate along with Bonfire. And we can get that key up here. Play a little bit safe though. So there are a bunch of bandits, especially ones with bows. Just want to mess up your day. Good. Alright. There's some Titanite up here. If you take it slowly, you can get it without... Actually... I'll just aim for it. A little higher. There we go. Actually, get this guy too. club with that moveset. Come on. You want to be careful going further up ahead. There is a Red Phantom Summon who has a few tricks, to say the least. And if you get isolated on the cliff with a bunch of these bandits, it's not a fun time. Let's just leave it at that. We'll deal with them in a bit, though. First things first is just getting that key so that we can save some time if we do end up dying. Nice to know that there are people up this hour. Recording this pretty early since I've been picking to do that anyways, waking up a little bit before work and then leaving the computer on to render and upload. Which has been refreshing, to say the least. There's minimal amounts of editing when dealing with this. It's mainly just lining up the audio, since I don't know what it is with Shadowplay's audio codec, but it just sounds like garbage. Hell, even Audacity, it's mainly the fact that I'm using a headset. It doesn't sound great. I actually have to do a double audio pass on it for filtering out noise. Okay, we're gonna try. I talked about getting the key and opening up the walkway, and now I just feel like taking out the Phantom. Merciless Rowena. It's been noted by some that the AI on these Red Phantoms can be ridiculously good sometimes in terms of dodging melee attacks. Dealing with magic, a little bit easier, I've found. A little Estus, though, sometimes. I think so. So I gotta be careful. And they also don't give out nearly as many souls. The ones that you had in Dark Souls 2 felt a little bit more, how do I want to put it? I guess the themed encounters, you ran into some of them multiple times, and I mean, you run into some of them multiple times here, but it's like, they would always, a lot of them would drop items with their sets and whatnot, so that was nice. These feel a little bit like an afterthought, but that's just my impression. In here, get Crichton.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The
Cheeky prick.
I am Crichton of Mirror. I travel from land to to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way, but he was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along.
Yeah, thank me.
You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. He wears this rather unusual ring. You'll know it when you see it. I've seen his type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. I tell ya, he's a slick talker, so don't let him fool ya. Pate, the man with a strange ring. Watch out for the slimy rat, and don't you believe a word he says. I'll find the common footpad and put an end to his roguery.
That fist pump. So he'll rest here at the bonfire. And that'll move him on at the area once you've exhausted his dialogue. Now I get to go deal with these bandits again. You can kind of open up a quasi-shortcut through that cave. You need to do it like once you're at the boss area. I probably should have done that, but I have a habit of just sort of falling off cliffs when I go do that. Wouldn't have been so bad either. It's mainly necromancers in there that are the thing, but I've got enough magic that I can get to them without having to really worry about it. That's whatever. But yeah, so instead of the typical tropes that we've gotten from other Souls game of like, what is it, the assassin, like Yurt, and I'm totally blanking on the other golden guy there, killing off NPCs. You got two that are concerned with killing each other, although there's another assassin, kind of like Mephistophelies later though. They will give you contradicting information. There are other NPCs that you can, I guess, consult about the situation. Ooh, what a miss. This could be bad. I'm more worried about enemies sneaking up behind me. Yeah. And the descriptions on their set also seem to suggest that at least one, if not both of them, are lying. So this guy up here, these guys rather, they're not difficult, as long as you do it right. In terms of rule of thumb, I usually like to keep the Magus alive last. Just because once you take him out, it's when the dreaded Bone Wheels get summoned. And granted, the Bone Wheels are not as bad as they've been, but they can still mess up your day if you are not paying attention. It would be better to focus on one, but I don't know. Getting that kind of coordination can be rough. Definitely don't want to get overwhelmed by skeletons if you can help it. These guys get slightly reduced damage coming out of the ground, but otherwise not too bad. Getting them as they come up is definitely the best solution to your problems. Oh, okay, now we bone wheeling. I really should just keep my shield out. Yep, I'm probably going to go down now because I wasn't paying attention. Oh. Okay, oh god. This is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Well, it looks like it got most of the bone wheels. It's just getting this one right here. Okay. This is doable. Just need to keep everything under control here. One at a time. When you're starting out, you have low agility, adaptability, one of the two. Sometimes crushing a life gem may be a little bit faster and safer than using your Estus. So you always keep that in mind as an option. Also, maces dealing extra damage to skeletons, always good. And even use the. I'm never gonna remember that like the dual strike is on the left and not the right. Not the best way to fight him, but I guess it worked out for me. It's kind of too bad for the summon. Funny thing, if you get summoned while doing this, the bridge will reset if it doesn't get all the way down. stones up here. I might get the option to get more upgrades on the mace, but I'm getting pretty close to the Ember. I should probably just stick to getting through as fast as I possibly can. I haven't joined a covenant yet either. I am going to need to join the Sentinels if I want those bolt stones. Get Chloanne.
Are you a traveller? I'm Chloanne, an ore-stone trader. I travel about collecting rare stones, which I sell to make my living. I never planned to visit this god's forsaken place. But I don't know. I just sort of ended up here. I must have just wandered in. But now that I'm here, I've been scouting around for rare bits. Oh, don't look at me like that. Many of these stones are quite useful. For instance, certain stones are used in smithing. Oh, now your ears prick up. I've extras if you can pay. This is my trade after all.
She's got some interesting story stuff.
I came here in search of rare stones, but the place is nothing like I was told. All this poison, and you can't get very far inside. Don't just go haplessly wandering about. These stones may look all the same, but to the trained eye, each is unique. Some of them are used to smith weapons and armor, and some unique stones provide special benefits. Some of them are extremely rare and should be used with great thrift. None of the differences are easily spotted, but I've learned quite a lot, really. Drang Lake. How is it that I ended up here? It's funny. I can't seem to remember. I've searched every nook and cranny here. I suppose it's time to move on. Perhaps we'll meet again, if we live that long.
So, I think she just starts out with shards, 2 spells, 2 Soul Peas, and Dead Again. Also, gets a Bonfire Ascetic, which is nice. After you deplete her dialogue, though, she'll move back to Majula.
I suppose it's about time I moved shop.
And once you use Bonfire, she will be gone from this area. Her main stock of stuff, though, does not end up opening till much later in the game, which is kind of a shame because she essentially gets 3 of every, good upgrade stone, so if you need to. Upgrade stuff, she's your woman. We'll go a little bit further, and then probably call it. There is another bonfire up ahead, I guess. That'll probably be a good place to do it. Some useful stuff down there. It's a Titanite and whatnot. A lot of junk, though. A lot of fading souls. We'll go for all of them. These guys are super easy, only because their attacks are so low to the ground. Guess we'll get a few of these. When you do get poisoned, because you probably will, you can use life gems to counteract about half, maybe more. But you don't want to use it beforehand, because I'm pretty sure if you top yourself off, they stop healing. Definitely worth it. Let's see. Double there. Be mindful of the skeletons. There's your first fragrant branch of Yore. It's the earliest one I know of that you can get in the game. Unless you do center. I'm not going to be using the Broken Thief Sword, probably. I don't need this extra piece. There's a lot of stuff I can just sell, and I'm just doing singles as opposed to, making sure I don't have copies of stuff. I could do more, but let's not bore you. Easy raw stone for people looking to use the Saint Tyr Spear, for example. I can't remember what's down here. Something good here, but you, like I said, if you don't take care of that skeleton, for example, fire seed, then he can trap you back there, and that's no good. Let's see, up here. These guys, once again, pretty easy to just ignore if you want. If you got range, then you can just take them out up here. And I guess there must be an item over there. Check that in just a sec. Yep. See if we can just run past them. Yep. And they will not come down here. You can use the spawn fire, and you're good to go. Let's do one more smallish area here. Maybe two. So over here, it's quite a trap, but lots of items. It's pretty easy to circumvent though if you know where to go. In this case, you want this particular mine shaft right here. It will bring you back around, get you another branch of yore. If you look back, you can get Crystal Lizard as well. Be careful though, because he is right. Oh man, really? Okay. Yeah, I've had that happen before. I know he drops like it's pale stones. This will give you a safe area to deal with these guys. Say as I get smacked around. You can take out a few from range. It'll make your life easier. God. Not on top of my game. Okay. Yeah, dealing just with all four of them in the arena is a dirty, nasty trick. That it's kind of hard to fault anybody who falls for it the first time. I managed to do it myself, like my first playthrough. I'm pretty sure I was using the mace still. I must have had the Dragon Rider Great Bow by then. God. Like, they usually don't come this far in. I am just going to be, like, out of ranged solutions. I'm playing lazy. God. There. How many do we got left? 2? Oh boy. Oh, well, that one's almost dead. Play a little bit risky here. Yeah, I'm gonna get rocked here if I'm... Should probably just use some of these fire bombs, because I never use fire bombs. Just, you know, miss. That's cool too. Good damage. Not quite holy water urn, but do what you do. I want to see if I can get like a double backstab on him. Come on. Whew. Could have gone a lot better, huh? I don't know if I've ever gotten one of those. Uh, 107 bleeding, 125 base. Total 2-handed. Looks like a halberd? No, it's a scythe moveset. Okay. And what's that? Cool design. Probably it's actually alright in terms of what stats I see right there. It's kind of odd. 2-handed scythe bleed thingamajig. I never did make a Bloodbite build in the original Dark Souls with the Life Hunter Scythe, which seems like it would have been fun. I fought a few, and that was definitely annoying when they glanced at you and got the bleed on you. What you get for not using red moss, I guess. Everything down there. Yeah, I guess I must have. Yeah, so some spice and some other things there. Can't want to get that lizard. But it's whatever. Yeah, let's go ahead and just... Like, that area up there is just poison. I know there is a poison stone to get there. I could probably skip it, actually, and this is me trying to find the bonfire. I'm probably going to fall in a hole. But, yeah, we'll get into Earthen Peak next time. Get closer to that dull ember, so thanks for watching.